Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, we just heard from this was probably about an hour or so ago that it was dropped. Saw it on Fight Hype, but it was probably like some kind of live stream from Brian Norman Sr. And we heard earlier from Eddie Hearn, I believe it was from Twitter, talking about they've already extended 3 offers to Brian Norman Jr. And the way that it sounded, and I didn't get a chance to really think about it to a certain extent, but the way it sounded from Eddie Hearn is almost like, hey, we've extended you multiple offers and you haven't accepted one. That's the way that I took it. And when you think about what was the response from Brian Norman Sr., it's actually quite interesting. So he basically put it all out there on blast, Jay. He says that the first offer from Eddie Hearn's and team was about 1/3 what Boots made to fight David Avanesian. And the way that Brian Norman Sr. feels is that Boots brings the same thing to the table that his son brings. The second offer was a little under half of what Boots made in a fight versus David Avanesian. And then he said the third offer was half. And what they're saying, Jay, essentially is they feel like they deserve more because they're both bringing the same thing to the table. They're both bringing titles to the table. Man, I actually get it, right? They feel like Eddie is basically lowballing them, right? And to a certain degree and extent, I actually do understand the logic and the rationale. Now, do I feel that Boots is the more recognizable name now? Yeah, I do. Um, but would Boots get a substantial difference from Brian Norman Jr.? I don't know if that's the case. Um, but so I said differently, Boots probably does get a bigger split, and I don't think they're asking for 50-50 because it didn't really sound like he was saying that they want a 50-50.
Nah, it
He
didn't
said that
sound
they
like
get the same to the table. He said specifically, I gave Bozy our number, and even Bozy knows that this is some BS, right? So it sounded like to me that they want a different number, Jay, but it's not necessarily what Boots is asking for. They're not saying that they need to get exactly what Boots wants. So it doesn't seem like this thing is complete yet from my perspective. November 9th, that seems like they're at an impasse at the moment, and I don't know. Seems like that fight may be on life support, Jay. What's your
definitely.
thoughts on what Brian Norman Sr. had to say in regards to this fight?
I hate that it's going through this, but as I used to call him Fast Eddie, you never know what you're gonna get from Eddie because Eddie a fast talker.
Yeah,
You know, everyone was happy, when he signed Boots. Some people were happy when he signed Boots, so Boots could try to get active because he said he's gonna make him active. He's trying, but right now, based on what Brian Norman Senior said, it's like it was peanuts what they're offering Boots. I mean, offering Brian Norman Jr. He shouldn't be getting paid nothing near what Avanesian got. He should get paid a lot more than that because he's an actual champion.
yeah,
You know, and he's earned it. So I mean, I don't know the particulars. I do know on September 3rd, though, there's going to be a purse bid with Karan and Boots. If um if things don't get settled, so
yeah. And
that
I think that's a
basically.
fight that nobody really wants either, Jay. I don't
Oh,
even think Boost wants that fight again.
no, Boots doesn't. He's already beat him 12-0. He beat him 12-0
Yeah,
already. What's the point of revisit? I mean, I get it. Karan went back, fought 2 IBF eliminators, earned his right to be right where he at, but no one wants to see that. So Eddie need to do whatever he can, or besides especially, I mean, it's really more pressure on Eddie and Boots side, really try to get it done so they can avoid that fight and make a fight that everyone wants to see. And then we know Boots wants to fight. We definitely know the Norman side want to fight. So they need to just come together, make it do what it do. I don't think the Normans are asking for a crazy amount. Brian Norman never said the amount they were asking for. Just saying
yeah,
what they want on the take. And that's understandable. It's going to be a risk for both fighters. Definitely going to be a risk for Brian Norman. Brian Norman Jr. Is that stated that he feels like he may have to get a knockout against Boots to win because he feels like it'd be hard for him to win on the scorecards because it's going to be in Philly.
Yep.
Which is understandable. If he's always the underdog, and he says they thrive off that. That's what the Normans do. They thrive off being the underdog, going in your backyard and take your stuff.
Yep.
And Boots is about it. Boots wants to fight. So the powers that be, whether it's Eddie, whether it's Top Rank, y'all need to get it together, man, and make this fight happen. Both fighters want this fight. We notice they're letting you know we want this fight. So if it's just the money aspect, I get it. If the Normans were asking for a crazy amount of money, I don't think they are, honestly. I just think Eddie's just being Eddie, honestly, on that. So I mean, but we need to get this fight. They need to do whatever they need to do to get this deal across the finish line, so we can have this fight. No one wants to see no doggone Boots and Karan again.
Let me ask you this. And I know Eddie's a businessman and he wants to. I think the part that I'm struggling with is they got Turkey Al Sheik and he's working with both Top Rank and Matchroom. So with his backing, you would think that this fight would be fairly easy to make and
The
get
money there,
Brian
right?
Jr. the number that he's looking for while simultaneously paying Boots the number that he's looking for
Uh-huh.
and putting it, a fairly good undercard. It doesn't have to be spectacular, but a fairly good undercard, some things that, some fight fans would be interested in seeing. Why would Eddie Hearns not want to make this fight, particularly when we know Boots wants to be undisputed? That's what I'm struggling with. It feels like there shouldn't be financial restrictions just due to the association with Turkey Al Sheik. And I'm talking about from Matchroom perspective and Top Ranks. So that's where I'm struggling.
Something missing. Something's been left out somewhere. Something. It's not making sense. To your point, if he's working with Turkey, we know Uncle Turkey got all the money out there, so that shouldn't be an issue. Let's say just trying to stand on business, say that, well, we don't feel like you should get this much for Norman for this fight. You're not worth this amount. And I'm thinking, like, I don't think he's asked for anything crazy. Of course, we're not seeing any of the money that's in the numbers, anything like that. We're just going by what Brian Norman Sr. said. And if it's anything like that, I think he should be getting more. He's a champion. He earned that fight there. And I think this is a fight the people want to see, the both fighters want. So I mean, I think he should get to make it happen. Give him the money. You know, let's get this fight
Yeah.
across this goal line, man. Let's get this going.
Yeah. I thought that the fight would probably have matured to the point that it needs to mature in 12 to 18 months. But if both fighters are looking to make this fight right now, then let's just go ahead and get the fight done. It just seems like it's within the realm of possibility and within Eddie Hearn's control. And so that's where it's becoming confusing for me why this is stalling. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Do you believe that it's Eddie Hearns that's stalling this fight out and just lowballing the Normans and causing the issue, or is it something else? I don't know. It just seems like there's a path to
Something's
make
off.
this fight, particularly because I believe both fighters want to fight. Let me know what you think, or let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. My apologies for the background noise, and we are out.